Jalen Ramsey is by far one of the most passionate and truth speaking individuals, and I believe that a team mirrors their coach. Mike Tomlin post game post game comments about the Cleveland Browns organization. Was it foul or was it fair play? Just out of curiosity.
I'm gonna call it because it came from Mike Tomlinson. Fair play.
Wow, I didn't expect that to come from you.
Yeah, I'm gonna call that fair play. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely call it because I've never seen a cheap shot out of him, out of his mouth. And you said in this lead up, you said the word passionate. And if there is
Well,
a
no,
coach
that was
that's
Jalen
passionate,
Ramsey. What Jalen Ramsey did, but Mike Tomlin's comments post game about Andrew Berry, I actually I found refreshing. Believe it or not, Pop.
right?
I found it refreshing.
Right.
So
And that's what I said. I think Mike Tomlin is Mike T. If you want me to say something bad about Mike T, it's
can't
going to
do
be
it.
I can't do it.
Can't do it.
Right.
Can't do it.
I'm just gonna just say I'm struggling. If you want me to say something bad of
No,
Mike T,
can't do it.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
Can't do it.
I think he's probably the most unheralded superstar coach in NFL that we talk about because even I was on the fence like, hey, is Mike T going to keep his job?
I didn't. I was 10 toes down.
I listen, I wasn't sure. I'm like, hey, listen, I'm not sure about this
Rodgers?
Rodgers. I'm not sure, Mike. I'm not really, Mike. Convince me, Mike, that this is going to work. Convince me. And you know what? Coaching and coaching matters, but also the passion from your coach. What I don't see in some coaches, a la in Miami.
Stefanski? Oh, Cleveland.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah. I don't see this. I don't see this desire to just throw the clipboard down on the ground, jump up and down on it, and I don't see you walking to a player and having that player look at you and go, "Oh boy, I know I messed up on this one," and
So
I'm going to hear
here's
it
my
from
question.
coach.
The reason why I bring that up is because with the Browns were the first time I ever seen a presser done with the analytics department and justification for a draft pick, an evaluation for a draft pick. I've never seen analytics being used to justify a draft pick in real time. I'm sure it's been done before, and that's what I mean. So, is there a difference between passion and analytics? Like, can passion in football? Because at the end of the day, this is very much still a sport where bigger, tougher, stronger, faster still has a place, right? Like at the
Yes.
end of the day, at the end of the day, it's, I gotta either beat you up or you have to beat me up to some certain degree. Right?
End of the day, it comes
At
down
the end of the day,
to
right?
I'm 320 pounds, you're 205 pounds.
Yeah. You
Call
know
it what it is.
So when I heard Cleveland bring out, or I saw the presser about how they chose their quarterbacks, and the young woman seemed like she knew her ones and zeros, right? I'm certainly not X's and O's, but ones and zeros. I find it entertaining how we're using not advanced metrics, but rather statistics and data points on human beings to play a sport. That a major portion of that still is contingent upon passion and emotion, right? So, I mean, obviously, if we were building a computer processor, you don't have to have emotion. But in football, there's a point where you would need, have emotion or passion take front and center. And I think
Absolutely.
Mike Tomlin making the comment about Andrew Berry, hate to see black and black crime, but it is what it is. Andrew Berry needs to get called to the carpet because the Browns did trade Joe Flacco, who was their opening day starter,
To
to
Cincy.
an in division rival
Yeah,
in the middle of the season.
I think that is awful. But wait a minute. The only issue, the reason I don't take that much offense to it is this. I gave my neighbor, I have beautiful grass. but I gave my neighbor a fertilizer, but it has a broken wheel. But it still works because my grass is beautiful. But I get
Joe Flacco to a broken a broken fertilizer. Is that where you're going with this? You gave your neighbor a broken fertilizer.
Oh my God!
A wheel
You
of
get it.
fertilizing.
Listen,
No, that's horrible. That's
but in the spirit of
person.
in the spirit of being a neighbor,
give away something you should
wait.
throw away.
But okay, that's my point. In the spirit of being a good neighbor, you don't have a fertilizer. I gave you my fertilizer. It's just that the wheel comes off when you're fertilizing.
You're right. You're so right. You know what?
That's what but hey, isn't that what they did? Isn't that what they did though? Basically, Cleveland said, we have a guy we can never win with and no team can win with. And since he was like, you know what we'll do? Instead of going into the market or looking for someone younger, there's some guys sitting out there right now that can play, could probably even give us 4 or 5 wins. You know what we'll do? We'll take Mr. Addison's, his lawn fertilizer with the wheel that comes off before we go and get a used one, a valuable good one.
Here's what I'm going to say about that.
Okay.
What I'm going to say is...
You don't like the analogy, or you think it's not true?
No, I think the analogy is... I kind of get where you're going.
Okay.
However, the difference is that, you know what? You've invested... You first of all, there's a certain level of... You have... I think certain people are better at being inept than other people. Like, I think...
So you're saying people have a level of ineptitude?
Yeah, I think just like you can excel at being great, I think you can also excel at being inept.
Okay.
Right?
Which is, by the way, that's a contradiction of terms, just so that you know. Like, you're saying, like, someone's good at being bad.
Yeah, I you know what? I think you can be good at doing stupid things. How about that? Like, right? You can be good at making wrong decisions.
Can you make like $3 million a year at that, though?
Well, evidently, you know what?
Evidently.
There's 41 people that have donned the position of quarterback for your franchise since 1999. Okay.
41. Say it with your chest.
I would argue that.
My God, that's incredible.
You are great at making bad decisions, right? Like, I mean, I just want to tell you the reason why I'm saying that is because you start an NFL season by drafting not one but 2 rookie quarterbacks. I can't make this up. This is better than Jerry Springer episode of Jerry Springer. You draft 2.
Hey! We watch Maury.
Well, that too.
Thank you.
We know who the father is in this case, right? Because Prime is looking right now like yeah, you know, I told you so. You know what? And you sign Joe Flacco, you pick up Kenny Pickett in free agency, right? And you draft 2 rookies. Okay.
2 really good rookies, by the way.
The 2 vets, 1.5 good rookies.
Okay. Matter of question.
The two vets. Oh, we're going to touch on him too. He's coming to the woodshed today. The 2 vets that you had are no longer on the squad. By the way, interesting stat. Cleveland is paying currently 8 quarterbacks right now. 8 quarterbacks are on the Cleveland payroll as we speak right now. You didn't know that, did you?
No, I did not.
8 quarterbacks in the Cleveland.
Do I have a chance at quarterback with Cleveland at this point?
The answer is yes. You have a chance.
5'11", bad hip, bad knees. You think I have a shot at quarterback for Cleveland?
In fact, you know what? I'm sure Kevin Stefanski would love to draw. You know what? A check down for you because this is. So I don't have a problem with a check down. Just for the record,
check down Joe.
I think if you can get yards, you know what? In the NFL, you are going to be successful, right? That's just my thing. Like, right? Who cares, right? The optics don't matter when you win. Okay. Here's my problem. My problem is that is it the offensive scheme? Is it the play calling? Is it the air? Is it the food you're eating at the training facility? Because I just watched you march a rookie quarterback. And I want you to think about this. We talk about Mike Tomlin. You march a rookie quarterback out against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh traditionally, I don't care. You can go back to the 1850s, let alone the 1950s. Pittsburgh has always had a defense. Even when football didn't exist, if they said, hey, pick one city in America where you think they'll have a good defense, you pointed to Pittsburgh. You don't know why. It looks like it should be made for defense.
No argument.
Okay, here's the deal. You march a rookie quarterback out there, and the rookie quarterback has 52 passing attempts. By the way, 58 dropbacks. He was sacked 6 times. Okay, at what point in time do you say, in the words of Lauryn Hill, it ain't working? No, because it wasn't working. It wasn't working. And Kevin Stefanski marches this rookie, 5'9.5", by the way, rookie out there, and sends them to the woodshed. He gets
would you want it to be Shedeur? Is that what you're saying?
So here's the irony for this, right? If you ask me,
by the way, Dylan Gabriel. Shout out to Dylan Gabriel. He had 12 more yards than Daniel Jones.
He also had 30 more passing attempts. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? What is this? I
had 52 passing attempts.
You know what? I watched this game from start to finish.
Oh, my Lord.
I flipped to other games periodically, but I was absolutely enamored with the level of ineptness in this game. I was. I was impressed with the level of bad play in this game. And the crazy thing about it is that Pittsburgh's defense this year has not been a traditional Pittsburgh defense. They've been kind of middle of the road. And I do believe that this game helped them ultimately find their win back in, right? Because Dylan Gabriel was on his back more than a midwife. Okay?
Oh, God.
Literally. You know what? And on top of that, I watched sack after sack, and I watched Jalen Ramsey do something I thought was extremely disrespectful. But you know what? I gotta admit, it was funny. I'm here for the juice. I'm here for it. He runs over after sacking Dylan Gabriel and points at Shedeur Sanders like, hey, you should be the one starting. If I was Shedeur Sanders and I just saw the Pittsburgh defense do that to the quarterback, would I really want to be in at this point in time?
How about Kevin Stefanski looking at that going like, hey, are you saying that to him or are you saying that to me? Because I think he was really pointing at Stefanski.
He might have.
Right.
He might have.
Right.
I mean, but if you're a head coach, right? If you're a head coach, and this is just my take, and I'm sorry, it's a polarizing story because of who it is. We already understand that. But if you ask me, this has been one of the worst handlings of a position in
it has been one of the
I've
worst
ever seen
one
in
of
my
the worst.
entire life. The fans of Cleveland should be absolutely with torches and picket signs, but we're not going to go there. They should be literally protesting in Cleveland right now, Jimmy. They should.
But I think quietly, I think it's starting to happen right now. But you have to be careful about that protesting because I think the old adage is, be careful what you wish for, is why they're not openly parading in the streets with, as you say, pitchforks like a Frankenstein monster or a Frankenstein movie, is because I think everyone in Cleveland is kind of being careful what they wish for. But then again, if I'm a Cleveland Browns fan, I don't think you use the word careful when talking about the Cleveland Browns.
Like, what? What are we talking about? What's the difference between starting 41 quarterbacks and 42? I'm here for it today. I'm actually here. You know what, Dad?
There's nothing that says careful in Cleveland.
You know, Dad, I've been watching football for a long time, and I got to tell
you have.
This was mind-boggling. The reason why I'm saying it was mind-boggling is because I've never seen someone allowed to realistically, he should have had 4 or 5 interceptions in that game. 4 interceptions.
He should have had 4 for sure.
4 for sure.
For sure.
Right? But are you that bad of a quarterback that even the defense can't catch your passes? Because offensively, no one can catch your passes. And I think there's something about left-handed quarterbacks because, you know what?
I say it all the time.
I refuse to believe that, you know what, that Jerry Jeudy's hands are that bad. I just refuse to believe.
Well, I'm not. He does drop a few balls.
You know what? Pause. But I get it. You know what? Here's what I will say though. If I was a wide receiver playing for Cleveland Browns, I'd wear a flak jacket before I go to the game.
So if you're David Njoku, you're going to week 12. You're going like, man, the last thing I want to know is AC. You know what? I don't want anything to do with the AC.
No, I got one better. I'm calling Tony Starks and I'm putting on the Iron Man outfit before I go because literally I felt like if you're going to be a Cleveland wide receiver, they should just basically elevate every single wide receiver from the practice squad. Because what's going to happen is that this quarterback is going to get them absolutely clobbered. I honestly, it was fun watching the game, but I felt like watching it. I felt like this was an episode of Triage or MASH. And it felt good because it's been a while since I've seen like hard hitting in football again. But I mean, I've never seen a quarterback just basically throw caution to the wind and basically put his guys in prime position to get their clock cleaned out for 4.5 yards passing. I've never seen it before. Like, I mean, literally, I watched Njoku catch a pass over the middle, and he got hit so hard. He's just like, he had a look of bewilderment on his face. Like, did I really do that for 8 yards? And it was like it was a business decision at this point in time. And when a quarterback does that, it reminds me of I remember we used to watch football when I was younger, and you'd be like, it was like Ricky Waters, right? He said, "For who, for what?" Right?
For who, for what? That's Ricky Waters. For who, for what?
He was like, I'm not gonna catch a meaningless, third down catch that's not even a first down to get absolutely destroyed.
It's
right?
It's third and 16. He throws you a 3-yard in, and and everybody is in a drop, is a 7 yards drop, and they're just waiting for you to catch that 3-yard in.
Like, so my point in that is that the famous saying from the quarterback was like, if I throw you the ball, you better catch it, right? So
depending on who the quarterback is. So
that's my point. So do I really want to be a wide receiver or a receiver or a tight end for this quarterback in a meaningless and honestly it's meaningless because you're down and it's not a chain mover. Do I really want to basically try to chase a stat at this point in time? If you were playing, would you? Just out of curiosity.
Well, if I were playing, I just to let you know, if you throw it to me, I'm gonna do my best. If I played offense, I'm gonna do my best to catch it. I'm gonna do whatever I can to catch it because mentally, how you do one thing. I'm stuck in a mantra that I will never be able to give up, and that is how you do one thing is how you do everything. And I think today it's a 3rd down and 13, and a game you're down by 25, and you lowball it, you flub it because you saw that safety and you got a peek at that linebacker waiting for you. So you lowballed it, you flubbed it. And tomorrow it's same play, 30 seconds to go in the game, and the same behavior shows its ugly self when you really could have gotten maybe 8 yards out the play. And now we're really like, instead of 4th and 13, instead of 4th and 3, we're 4th and 13. So my position is, unfortunately, unlike any other game, football is, even if it's a 3rd and 3, 3rd and 30, and it's a meaning out or a crossing route, and you're being laid out there. You have to catch the ball.
You have to catch the ball.
You have to catch the ball. I'm sorry. I know when we talk about it in conventional wisdom and humor, we make light of it, and I even make light of it. But on the field, I will absolutely, positively say to you, you have to catch that ball. Because in football, if I've seen it once, bad habits have a tendency to show themselves at the worst times. Ask Terrell Owens, bad habits.
Well, he Hall of Famer.
Yeah, but what he got. But wait, not those early years. Not those early years with San Francisco. Not Hall of Famer then. Not those early years with San Francisco. In fact, more or less like Hall of Hand Stoner. Hand Stoner. That's why we got J.J. Stokes, because we really didn't believe in you.
Hall of Famer.
Yeah, but nonetheless, what he did was, we're going to catch that 3-yard out, and when I get back to the huddle, I'm going to look at you and I'm going to say, don't do that again. But I'm going to catch it.
So here's my when I look at like this game, okay, and I try to look at things as they happen, and why I'm intrigued by this is because I think that in this game, in this instance, I think that you have responsibility as a quarterback. The great quarterbacks knew how to throw you open, right? Like the good quarterbacks understand, like, hey, I can't afford to basically lead you into no man's land and get your
understood
cleaned out, right?
Understood.
Okay, so the thing is that as a football player, if you have a quarterback, because we all have eyes, right? And wide receivers all talk to amongst themselves and in their huddles, in the locker room, et cetera, right? So when they get back, do you think that those wide receivers and tight ends are looking at him and they're saying, that's our quarterback, we're ready to ride for him? Or do you think that they're looking at him and saying, you expletive, you know what? I look like an idiot because you led me into traffic on 4 occasions, and one of our guys is concussed. Do you think that it's the first or the latter?
I think it's, in today's football, I think it's the latter. But I also, and I want to paraphrase that, I also think that as you move up the depth chart in respect in the locker room, that it starts to, you don't have to say that because you would never do that. Like, you wouldn't do that to a Jerry Rice. But until you move up to the respect ladder as a wide receiver, a wideout, a split end, however you want to define it, until you move up, hey, you're Mark Bavaro. But you know who Mark Bavaro is, right?
Yeah, but if you're gonna talk about that era of football, like that was.
Well, no, I'm not talking about that specific era. I'm just talking about that specific mentality. And that specific mentality is, until you move up the depth chart where you're that guy who we don't want to throw a 3-yard in route on that play, we don't want to do that. And when you have a quarterback that's maybe too young to know that you're that guy, I think you get to say to him, don't do that again. And I think he gets to say to you, I won't do that again. And until you get there is when you get there.
I can see that. Although I am on Shedeur Sanders' watch at this point in time.
I hope not.
The reason why is because just purely from a football standpoint at this point in time, you know what? If you've had 5 months to develop a quarterback, just bear with me. 5 months to develop a quarterback, you had 2 preseason games for evaluation, right. And then you've had now going on 3 regular season games that he's stepped foot in. And
Excuse me.
This is the product on the field, and it's gotten progressively worse. I think at this point in time, you have to. First of all, I think Stefanski's out. There's no Jimmy Haslam. He keeps Stefanski around. This is insane because I've never seen such a. This is a tragedy as an offense. That's number one. Can we agree on that at least?
We totally agree, and
okay.
It's a total tragedy. It's a heartbreak, is what it really is.
It's second of all, because it's heartbreak because you're looking and you're saying this is a world-class defense.
It's a world-class defense. They should not be where they are right now. We agree with that 100%.
So at this point in
Myles Garrett, that's all I want to say.
At this point in time, I believe because the defense really played pretty well against Pittsburgh. They had to play on a short field most of the game, but I mean it is what it is. You can't stop that.
They played very well though.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that if you are, you know what, that locker room, you understand clearly that the expectation now is, do we choose Cancun or do we go to Puerto Vallarta right now?
Frankly, I go to Cancun.
I'm just saying at this point in time because you know you're not really playing for anything right now, and those feelings are going to manifest themselves in terms of resentment, right? So at this point in time, if you're Stefanski and you want to keep your job, is it time to basically, you know what, bring the guy that everybody wants to see? Because I'll tell you right now, if they lose to Miami and they fail to score 18 against Miami, at this point in time, there is no hope with this team. There's no hope. By the way, I am on Shedeur Sanders' watch. It is going to happen. I think that he plays after they get beat and destroyed by Miami because I'm taking Miami in that game, by the way.
I'm not taking Miami in that game.
Okay.
I'm actually taking Cleveland in that game. And my particular reason is that I think Cleveland's defense, but also just as Stefanski is on that list of, you're saying, of coaches that are on the hot seat, that at this point, it's not just the game that matters. It might even come down to like practices that matter. I think that on the other side of that, and the coaching side of that, is McDaniels for Miami. I think his seat, like that chair, may just have a warmer in it. That's how he is. I think that chair has a warmer in it because you can't take the offensive talent that they've had over the last 3 years and not come out with at least one W. One W. Like, listen, like at least get to the division final. One game. One. Now, we're not just talking about like some good speed on the team. We're talking about at one point in Miami, like literally 5 guys on their offense were the fastest guys in the NFL. Like, how do you have like the fastest running back, the fastest this, the fastest that, the fastest that? Like, how do you have that much speed and you can't win? Plus, you have a pretty good defense because you have a young Jalen Ramsey, right?
Even the war boy on that team ran a 4-4.
Like, it literally looked like Miami was going into like, hey, we're going to Dade County. We're just going to get a runner, and we're just going to get somebody who can run fast. That's it.
That's it.
And that's what they did, and they have not won. So I think him and Stefanski are drinking whatever their beverage of choice is, a Sprite, Coke, whatever, alcoholic, whatever it is. And they're sitting going, when we had it good, we had it good.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what they did. When they had it good, they had it good. And they could not win with everything that they were given. And guess what? In coaching, it's not because I think, what if Andy Reid would have had that talent? What if Mike Tomlin would have had that talent in Pittsburgh? How many rings would he have?
Yeah. It's stupid to even consider.
It's stupid to think about it. For goodness sake, Mike Tomlinson would have had like, you know what? I've got the one of the best running backs, and I've got one of the best wide receivers, and I've got a serviceable quarterback, and it doesn't have to be 2, just a serviceable quarterback. You know what we're going to do? We're going to run the table.
We're going to beat you by 20 every game?
We're going to beat you by at least 15. 2 tutties. 2 tutties, right.
So I need you on record. Who is more likely to lose their job after this season? Stefanski or McDaniel?
McDaniels.
Okay.
McDaniel. Because there's nothing for McDaniel to come back to. There's something, because McDaniel now, you have to rebuild from him. From Stefanski, you can continue on the progression chart because you may have a young Shedeur. Maybe.
Wait. Hold on. I just.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Do you think there's any way on God's green and blue earth
I do
that the Cleveland Brass, after looking at this, once Shedeur Sanders being coached by this organization, like
I'm sorry. It hurts me to say this, but as I look at the league, unless you pointed out to me that we're going to send this kid to Los Angeles and put him and put him, well, there's no.
I agree. Actually.
Right. That's my whole position.
I agree.
Right. Right.
I agree.
That's my whole position, and at this point, that's what it comes down to. I think you know, we can send him to a slaughterhouse, or we can keep him in a situation where we might be able to keep some type of protection on him. But right now, I don't know what you would do. What team would you want to see him in or with and say that, A, he was going to play, that he was going to play within the 2 years, by the way, within 24 months, and not carry a clipboard to degrade his already, his number of talents? And or what team do you see him starting on the field with right now and not be any less or better than Cleveland? Cleveland, that is. What team?
Cincinnati.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's my point.
Miami, I think.
That's my point.
Miami.
That's my point. You're either going to get him in warm weather to watch him get knocked around, or he's going to be in cold weather to be knocked around. It's your choice.
I don't think he gets knocked around, and I think he puts up ridiculous numbers playing in Cincinnati.
I think he puts up ridiculous numbers playing for Cleveland.
I mean, by the way, just FYI, I think Joe threw three tutties last game.
3 tutties.
First game with Cleveland, or 2, 3 or 2,
and
like that.
And Mike Tomlinson, Mike T has a legitimate gripe. Like, hey, you know what you were doing.
Where the gripe came from. Yeah.
Right, that's the gripe right there.
I think so.
Right.
Because realistically, you know what? Segue to that game. You know what? Joe Flacco went. Joe Flacco threw 2 touchdowns. You know what? Not a whole lot of passing yards. I mean, obviously short-term defense or short-term offense. But I'll tell you what. You know who did catch a touchdown in that game? Ja'Marr Chase. Joe Flacco still is on record for throwing not 1 but 2 touchdowns, no picks. So did 41-year-old Joe Flacco look better in Cincinnati's offense than he's ever looked in Cleveland's offense? Yes, no. Answer is unequivocally yeah, right?
Yeah. Okay, here's that question we had at the beginning of the season. Mm-hmm. Which organization is a better organization?
God, you know what? You want to say Baltimore. It's only because of recent memory.
No, between Cleveland and Cincinnati, which one's a better organization?
Oh, well, you want to say Cincinnati. You know what? Because of recent memory, I remember when both of them were horrible.
But right now, on
Cincinnati, clearly. Cincinnati.
So Joe Flacco going to a better organization.
Yeah.
He's not going to do better, but he's going to look good being bad.
Okay.
Right. He's not going to do better, but he's going to look good being bad, because at being bad for a good company is to really be good at a bad company.
So here's my question when it comes to that, right? If you're Stefanski, if you're Andrew Berry, right? Because here's the deal: the general manager is responsible for X and O's and implementing game plan, right?
Right.
Head coaches, right?
Right.
Okay. General manager ships over Joe Flacco to Cincinnati. Joe Flacco puts up better numbers on Cincinnati's offense than he ever did with Cleveland's offense. At that point in time, does the GM have to look at the head coach and say, "What are you doing?" Or does the head coach look at the GM and say, "Why'd you ship my guy out?" Which one? Because somebody has to take blame for it, right? One person. It was a fault.
I go with the latter.
Okay. Well, you stay on the latter, because my only question now is that don't call it a comeback. I told everybody who wanted to sleep on Kansas City, don't do that. It's still Pat.
Wait, whoa. For all our listeners, 504-434-2509. Email us at sportstalkwithjohnandjohn@gmail.com. And Mr. John never ever, I think that was a shark who was saying Kansas City, it might be over, they won't win 11 games. I heard someone say that Kansas City won't win. This guy, and you can have the floor after this last comment. What we're watching with Patrick Mahomes is a redefinition of the word quarterback. You don't have to look like it. I'm 6'4", 6'5", rocket for an arm. I'm built like a Greek god, and I can run the high hurdles. No, you don't have to. You don't have to have an arm that can throw the ball out of the stadium from the 20-yard line.
He does, though.
But he does. It doesn't hurt to have one. What it does help to have is the ability to make every single person, when you step on the field, feel like you and they are going to win this game. And to be that young and have that kind of possession over the people you play with is just a remarkable feat. This is singularly the best quarterback that we're going to see for a long time.
So I want to talk about this game last because I wanted to set you up. The reason why the reason why is because we talked about having dynamic wide receiver play when we talk about Buffalo. Okay? And I'm just going to tell you, Juju Smith-Schuster, Marquise Brown, Hollywood.
Why?
Okay. Xavier Worthy. Okay. That's your 3 wide receiving core right there. That 3 wide receiving core, including Travis Kelce, makes 4 receivers. You are not going to tell me that Travis Kelce, Juju Smith-Schuster, Hollywood Brown, and Xavier Worthy are better than Dalton Knox, Dalton Kincaid, Shakir, and what's the name? Keon Coleman. You're not going to tell me that those 4 guys are better.
Have you lost your mind? Of course those 4 guys are better than the guys.
Absolutely not.
Oh my God.
Xavier Worthy, Juju Smith-Schuster, Marquise Brown. If Kansas City could could trade right now Juju Smith-Schuster, Hollywood Brown, and Xavier Worthy for Keon Coleman and Shakir right now, they would pull the trigger. Absolutely.
John.
They would absolutely pull
John,
the trigger.
I can't really believe you're saying that. Honestly,
no,
I can't.
You're not going to tell. Juju Smith-Schuster
oh my God.
is a has-been. Marquise Brown has visited more teams.
By the way, does Juju Smith-Schuster have one of them things? Does he have one of them things? Wait. I'm just curious. Does he have one of them things? I'm just curious. Does he have one of them things?
Does Kadarius Toney have 2?
Okay, I get that. He does. But does the guy who's still playing name me any one of that receiving core with Buffalo that has any of them things? Name me one of them guys that has even won an AFC East championship.
None.
Okay, so then I'm done with it.
Well, no, actually, AFC East, yeah, all of them have. I mean, they
won I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
AFC championship.
AFC championship.
Okay, that was a different story, right? But I mean, at the end of the day, you're not going to sit here and tell me that wide receiving core, with the exception of maybe Xavier Worthy, who really isn't like the guy yet, because keep in mind he only had 14 yards or 20 yards receiving, so we're not gonna pedestalize him, right? You're not gonna tell me that those 3 guys are better than the 2 guys I mentioned with Buffalo. And if you are, you're not gonna tell me that there's such a significant gap that it's like the Mariana Trench. We're not talking about Jamar Chase and
I am saying that those guys versus anyone you mentioned, with the exception of the 2 tight ends for Buffalo.
Yeah, but they're part of the receiving core.
I get that. I get that. But I'm only taking one of those, and it's really going to be Dalton Kincaid. All right,
Knox is just as good.
Yeah. I think Kincaid would be the guy I would take. I think Knox is good, but I take Kincaid, and that would be my Travis Kelce. And the rest of those 2 guys, they don't match up. They don't match up.
I think that's debatable. The point is that, you know what, there's an argument to be made. Now, if I said, you know what, is I don't know, the receiving core for Detroit better than Buffalo, then the answer is unequivocally yeah, absolutely. St. Brown and J-Mo are better than any 2 wide receivers or 3 wide receivers Buffalo can basically put on the field. All right, the reason why I bring that up is because here's the deal. Pat Mahomes, is he back? Or I don't think he ever left.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
The difference is that, you know what, Pat Mahomes, once again, is Pat Mahomes. You know what, 22 for 30, 73% completion percentage. How many touchdowns? Not 1, not 2, but 3, I believe, in the game, right? QBR over 141. Don't get no better than that. Pat Mahomes orchestrated some pretty impressive and amazing drives. By the way, Pat has used his legs sporadically because I don't think that they have a running back yet. And still,
no.
So the real question is that, you know what? I know we talked about Daniel Jones. I know we talked about, Baker Mayfield. I know we talked about all these other quarterbacks.
MVP Baker.
But are you ready to crown Baker Mayfield MVP over Pat Mahomes just yet?
Yeah,
You are?
I am.
See,
The way Baker's playing. If I was at a Buck Stadium and someone said Baker MVP, I might go, yeah, I might, because I've seen Pat Mahomes do it, but we know MVP comes down to a guy who we didn't know could do it sometimes, and he's doing it, and he's had all the skills and the talents to do it, and he's finally putting it together. And what we're seeing out of Baker Mayfield may be a very special season. We may never see this again with him, so we might as well enjoy it right now and give him his flowers.
Okay.
Right.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Well, we'll see.
We'll definitely see. We'll definitely see. Listen, folks, I want to thank you very much for listening to our show tonight. I'm John.
And I'm John.
And you've been listening to Sports Talk with John and John. Hey, you have any questions? Call us, 504-434-2509. Email us at sportstalkwithjohnandjohn@email.com. We want to thank you for listening to the show. Shark will be back next week. Everyone have a fine evening. God bless and good night.